New York Times best-selling author, and he's a WWE Hall of Famer. Please welcome, you know him as Dude Love, you know him as Cactus Jack, you know him as Mankind. Please welcome, Mick Foley!
Here with world-class pro wrestling at Southern Junction in Irving with the exciting honor of greeting a guy. Last time I saw you, we were at a fan fest in Charlotte, North Carolina. I remember you as the one and only Cactus Jack Manson. I'll never forget that look you had. Greet the people. Say hello.
Mark, it's such a pleasure to be here. I called Irving home in 1988, 1989. Hey, listen, you know, you were there from day one when I arrived. I was what I would call a very minor figure in the world of wrestling when I arrived in world-class championship wrestling. And Eric Embry saw something in me. Maybe it was to my effect. I was just talking about this with Eric backstage. Haven't seen him since '89. It's been way too long, and I said, my second day of television, we do TV tapings every Saturday morning at the Sportatorium, the world-famous Sportatorium. Yeah! And I go out to my car. I've got this old beaten-up Plymouth Arrow that maniac Mike Davis sold me for $400, and my tires are slashed, you know? Fans have slashed my tires, so I come in, I say to gorgeous Gary Young, like, I don't know how I'm going to get home. My tires are slashed. And Eric is like, he listens. He goes, wait, what'd you say? I said, I don't know how I'm going to go home. He says, no, not about that. I don't really care about that. What'd you say about your tires? I said, somebody slashed my tires. He said, all four of them? I said, yeah, all four. And he looks at me and goes, you've got good heat out there, brother. So only in our world is getting your tires slashed in the parking lot not necessarily a bad thing. So I went from being a very minor figure in this sport, and Mark, you were there every week. You got to see me make my mistakes. You got to see some of my successes. But this was the greatest experience that I had, and I can honestly say that, I know I pander to audiences around the world, and I say it's great to be here when I'm like in Des Moines, Iowa, and places like that. But I'm telling you, had it not been, for Eric and that outstanding crew of people we had to wrestle, me and gorgeous Gary Young with the great Muda as Devastation Incorporated, and every week we got to go up against Eric Embry, Gentleman Chris Adams, Brickhouse Brown, Kerry Von Erich, Jeff Jarrett. So it was a wonderful time for me, and I put out a video just a couple days ago. A lot of you guys know, no one loves Christmas more than I do, right? And under any other circumstance, there's no way you're dragging me away from home in the heart of the holiday season. And the only thing that brought me here was a phone call from Eric asking me if I could be part of this event right here. And I said yes, and then the next day tried to take it back. So, not so fast, not so fast. And then what I did, Mark, I had a real talk with myself. I thought about where my career would be had it not been for Eric Embry, and I thought I'd be somewhere, and I said the same thing about Jim Ross. I would be somewhere, and forgive my language here, but I sure as hell wouldn't be where I am today without that experience. So no matter how far I roam, when I'm talking about the Metroplex area, will always hold a very special place in my heart. I love it here. And so a long time ago, Eric Embry changed my life by believing in me, and I'm here to show Eric that I still believe in him, and I believe in all the great fans in the Dallas, Fort Worth, Irving area. So.
Amen. That is fantastic. And Mick, I think I can speak for the people that are here that remembered your beginnings. It made us very proud for guys like you to do so well and go to New York and hold titles and be known around the world. So we're proud of you.
Can I tell you a little personal story here? You guys all right? We're having fun, right? This is not your usual wrestling promo. This is me talking from the heart. You said New York because in the wrestling business we refer to the territories based on the largest city in that territory. So word got around to Eric that I was headed to New York. And he comes over to me, shakes my hand, says, "Nobody deserves it more, brother." I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "I heard you were going to New York." I said, "Yeah, I'm visiting my parents. I'm from Long Island." I didn't get to New York for another 10 years after that. But everything worked out really well. Again, I just want to reiterate, there is no other place that I would be. I did not, granted, a lot of you guys stood in line, you paid some money to have your photo taken with me and get autographs, but when it came to talk money, I told Eric, absolutely not. I'm not accepting a payoff. I'm booking my own flight, I'm getting my own rental car, I'm getting my own hotel, because that's how much I want this event to succeed. And I believe there's another show coming our way in January.
That's what I hear, and I would say, Mick, that I'm excited about this promotion. I think it's got great promise.
It's got great promise because it's got great people. When we were traveling the country and the world, there were like 5 or 6 great wrestling cities that we would talk about. It was like St. Louis was a great wrestling city, and Boston was a great. Des Moines was not a great wrestling city. I don't know why I'm picking on Des Moines. I'm going to be there in March. But no question, I walked into that sportatorium and I'm looking at the black and white photos of some of the giants in our field. And I jokingly said to gorgeous Gary Young, one day my photo is going to be up there. And it sounded like a joke at the time. But when you say that I made you guys proud, I appreciate that very much, Mark. If I could, before I leave you guys to the matches, your partner in calling the matches, Frank Doucet. And
Captain Frank.
Captain Frank. And now, I was the only guy in the history of wrestling to give a 2-month notice because I had a broken wrist that would not heal. So Eric, I don't even know why I'm talking to him. He threw me off a scaffold in Fort Worth, right? Now it broke my wrist and it wouldn't heal correctly. So when Frank found out I was leaving, he said, "You sure you want to do that?" He said, "You're never going to be a top guy." He said, he wasn't trying to hurt my feelings because you're always going to be top of the bottom, bottom of the top, but you've got a home here. And the next time I saw Frank, I was the WWE champion, and I reminded him of that. And but here's the thing. There was no ill will. He looked at me and said, "Cactus, I have never been happier to be wrong about a human being in my life. You proved a lot of people wrong, but I was only able to prove people wrong because the right people at the right time saw something in me and made me believe in myself." So thank you very much to everyone who played a role. And I know an awful lot of you, like this young man there. He wasn't born back when I was in that sportatorium, but it's an infectious feeling. When you have wrestling in your bones, you pass it down through the bloodline. I believe that. And there's this intergenerational appeal to wrestling that applies maybe to baseball in this country, but there's something about wrestling. When I was a teenager and I wasn't getting along with my dad, wrestling was the bond that held us together. Grandparents watching their grandsons, aunts watching with their nephews. There's just something. It has been said that for the cynic, no reasoning is ever good enough, and for the true wrestling fan, there's no reasoning needed because it is what it is. It's an art form. It's a sport. Pro wrestling, whatever you want it to be, and it's been my life and my love, and I welcome the chance to give back to the great people of this area. So,
well, that's great. And you know, Mick, I look around our culture now and I see the tension, I see the isolation that COVID has brought. I see prices getting so high for so many events, sports and entertainment. There has never been a time for a promotion like this to take off and be a blessing to our culture. And I hope you'll stick close by because your input can make a difference.
I will. I'm just joking, thinking to myself, laughing that you're right. We're divided in a lot of ways. There are people who can't get along agree on anything. And then here's this guy, they may not agree on anything else, but they look and by golly, that guy's wearing a wrestling shirt. And now they've got a bond. And it's a strange thing, this business of ours that brings people together. And I'd like to tell you that I've already got, I don't know if you know, but I've already got the date, return date in January penciled in on my schedule. I'm going to be out on the road telling stories from my career, and I have a day off where I'm going to take a long ride to Amarillo and visit my mentor and idol, Terry Funk. And then to borrow a line from Arnold Schwarzenegger in The Terminator, I'll be back.
All right, that's fantastic.
Thank you very much for your support in me that never waned. I'm so lucky and thankful to be here. I think I've made that point clear. And Mark, you've aged like 2 years in the last 30. So whatever you're doing, it's working for you. It's great to see you. You were such a big part of my growth period. And again, I loved it here. I was almost ready to throw in the towel and think maybe this wrestling business isn't for me. It was like day one when I stepped foot in this great state. I had a change of heart, and you guys helped me rekindle that fire and helped make me who I turned out to be. So God bless you all. Thank you very much.
And back at you, more power to you. We're proud of you, and we'll see you very soon.
I'll
all
see
right?
you next month. All right. Have a nice day, and bang bang. Yeah.
Mick Foley, Cactus Jack Hansen, stick with